We're live. Let's go. Alright. We're not doing it's not main weapons today. Today we're doing specials. Cause a bunch actually just changed in the patch. So I was thinking maybe we could try a little tier list here. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to stream. Spoiler alert, Hammer's not X. I know it's crazy, but Hammer's not X. Let's wait like probably 2 more minutes for people to get in here. 4:55 maybe. Oh, let me put the pin message up. Hello, welcome in Jakor and Got Milk. Welcome in. Oh, let's hope that actually sends. Oh my god, it sent. Let's go. The pinned message worked. Let's go. I think. I mean, it's pinned, so it should work. There we go. Alright, let's go. I know, I'm not saying do it. I'm saying if you do. Okay. Alright, we'll wait, actually, never mind. We'll wait 4 minutes. We'll wait 4 more minutes. Alright. Actually, let me make sure. No, we're good. We're chilling. We're good. Not the angry. Where's the angry orange face come from? I don't even know where that. So that face orange frowning. Trying to be controversial. Oh, I have a few takes that are gonna be a bit controversial. Should I have background music? Good point. I don't really want to like. I don't want to make it like hype music or anything though. Also, why did my mouse just disappear? What the heck? Hey, it's back. Let's go. Ugh, chat my allergies. I swear. Yeah. What music would you guys like? What music would you guys like? It's gonna have to be low volume. Actually, honestly, maybe I just pull up some Mario Kart music. Low key. I'll just pull up some Mario Kart music at like low volume. This is a playlist I have that has all of it. Here it is. God, are there actually 98 tracks in this game? That's crazy to me that there's like legitimately 98 tracks. Oh, counting battle tracks. Alright, I forgot battle tracks can be in here. Alright. Yeah, we can shuffle. Alright. We'll see. Let's make sure shuffle's on. I'm gonna, let's see. Where is audio capture? This one. Okie dokie. Let's see if I just... There? Are we good? Is it capturing? Yes, it is. Alright. Where is the audio? There it is. You're gonna go -19 for now, and let me know if it's good. We're starting with, Autumn Animal Crossing, so it's gonna be a bit quieter than normal music. So just let me know. Not the elbow cough, bro. Oh my god. It says elbow cough. Yeah, it is. I can see it. I can see their goal. Alright. Kind of loudish. Alright. I'll lower. How's that? Just like make sure it should be quieter than the music in normal streams. It should be definitely like background music. It shouldn't be like it shouldn't be like music in videos that's like kind of aligned volume wise with my voice so you can hear both. Just kind of make it like background beats, you know. Actually, let me just check myself. Give me a second. Oh yeah, that's definitely good. Alright. We ready to start, y'all? We ready to start? I think we're ready to start. Song's about to end. That's great. Yeah, let's go. Alright, so we're gonna be starting off with, we're gonna go low to high. So the best specials will definitely be in X at the top here. I think we can stick with this tier ordering, honestly. We don't really need an E tier because there's a big gap. Trust. So in my opinion, I mean probably a lot of people's opinions, but I know for a fact in my opinion, youch. So about Bubble, it's just like Bubble just kind of does nothing, you know. It just like you pop it and it just doesn't do anything. Why are there two coolers? Because one's transparent, one's not. I don't know why, but that's how it is for some reason. But anyway, a Bubble. So this special just kind of just does nothing. I'm gonna be honest. Why have two? I don't know. I didn't make it. But when I see a Bubble, it's just like, my brain doesn't go, oh no, a Bubble. There's gonna be, on. I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm reading chat. I'm not gonna read chat anymore. It's not stolen content. No, not making the tier list. Like, I didn't make these icons, is my point. I'm making the tier list. Oh my god. Alright, anyway. Yeah, so basically with Bubble, my mindset when I see a bubble is not, oh no, like someone could be in that bubble and fighting me. What I do when I see bubble is like either I just ignore it or I just shoot it for maybe 5 seconds. Probably close to 3 or sometimes 2 on good DPS weapons. And it just dies. Like, I know in the most recent patch they made it bigger and increases durability against specials, but the thing is, like, specials was a problem. Obviously, a single strike would break it pre-patch, which is not good. But now it's still just the fact that main weapons, like, absolutely shred it. And if your main gun shreds a special, that's not good. Especially, like a main gun can shred a special like Crab, because Crab can fight for itself. It actually has a reason to exist on the map. A bubble, if there's a main weapon fighting it, it can't do anything. It's not giving any value. In fact, if anything, it's giving the player that's shooting it value, because then the entire team's gonna try to focus on them, and it's gonna actively, what's the opposite of displace? Like, it's gonna make them all go towards that one person shooting the bubble. Which at top level, obviously you're just gonna ignore the fact they have a bubble on the map, and you're just gonna kind of ignore it, just like the other team does. But yeah, bubble, it can't move unless it's on tower, and on tower it has less duration, which like it should. But I'm just saying that also makes it worse, and bubble just can't function, and it kind of sucks. I will say that if bubble was good, I feel like it'd be way worse. You know, like if bubble was bad, like bubble is bad now, right? And you just kind of ignore it. But if bubble was good, like that'd be a really big problem in the meta, because then you would have to like just shoot. And it's a completely, entirely invincible special. It's easy to make that invincibility go away, but when it is invincible, nothing can go through it unless you have like a slider or a kraken or something. In which case, that's using a resource to take care of a special and allowing the bubble user to farm it again. So like, bubble's just so bad. It's so bad. I almost feel like I should make like a separate tier, you know, bring attention to itself. That's true, but also that's kind of the goal. The goal is to make sure you stay safe, or that other people try to shred it. But the thing is, right now bubble can be shredded very easily. That's its problem. This is undercover tier. Actually, is undercover even the worst main weapon? Yes. Why did I just ask myself that question? Undercover Brella. Okay. We're gonna add a row below. This row's color is gonna be blue. No, it's gonna be gray. Gap. And then we can move on to the actual lettered tiers. What just happened? Are we good now? Hold up. One up. Is that good? Alright, there we go. More of a distraction, can help with pushes like tower. Rainmaker, it doesn't help though, because like Rainmaker, you're supposed to just move. Wait, that's not better at all. Hold up. Is that good? A tiny bit up. Is that good? Almost. Almost. Is that good? Hooray, we did it. Alright. Are these ordered? Yes. Yes. We'll say they're ordered, because there's only like, what, 17 specials in this game? Something like that. Alright. So next up, after Bubble, is a Gap. Because it's just that bad right now. And I don't really know what they could do with this thing. In D tier, I'm probably going to have to put, being completely honest, only one special. Which is kind of wild to me. that there's only one special to put here and not two. We'll get to that later. Zip just kind of sucks, dude. Like, Zip just kind of sucks. I hate to say it, but like, this thing can do nothing. Make a safe zone? Yeah, but you would have to get into the basket area in the first place. And no bubble weapon besides like, I don't know, a really good H3D player could get in there. And even then, H3 is laggy enough that if it tries to paint itself in, you can just punish its end lag. But anyway, Zipcaster. So I feel like Zip right now, it's held back by two things. Number one, it's still too short. They buffed it in the past, it's still too short. You need to be able to actually do stuff while you're in Zip. And I saw the trailer for Splatoon 3 the other day. It's a lot better than it used to be, but that doesn't make it good, you know? And they've buffed its duration so many times, but it's still just too short. Like, the thing is about Zip, it's so hard to balance its duration, because some weapons are a lot more ink hungry than others, and it's based on ink efficiency. So that's difficult to rank. However, I'm pretty sure it's unanimous that Zip can't do anything. Especially when Crab is like not as meta now. Zip just sucks. Cause Zip was the one thing that like, Crab was the one thing that could like actually be countered by Zip. Cause you could zip through the Crab and the Rider couldn't do anything cause they're in the Crab. But now that the Crab is like not being used in double splash comps anymore, like we've moved on past that point where other weapons are viable now. Zip weapons are just not it, and that's a second reason leading into that. There's not any good Zip weapons. Like Bucket Deco is the closest we have, and that's outclassed by V Bucket. With Splat Bomb instead of Dart, and even Strike at this point, just viability wise, is probably better for Bucket than Zip, which is kind of sad. Cause like Zip conceptually on 90% of the weapons it's on is a really good idea, but it just can't do anything. And I think duration itself would not make it better because half the time you just die, and that doesn't affect its duration. Zip needs something to help keep it alive, whether it's a second attack, whether it's faster zipping. They could do that so that you could just like zip out of danger even faster. They could do a lot to make it better, but it's hard to decide what should be better, right? That's the thing. And Zip, it's just kind of sad that you see a Zip and you're not even remotely scared. That's another thing. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. You know what? I don't want to open Twitter on stream, because you never know what shows up there. A lot of these bombs, well, zipping uses the R button, so you couldn't really. Also, that would like immediately end the zip, because you have like half of a zip caster, or half of an ink tank, and subs take like 60. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, Zip. The problem with Zip right now is mainly the weapons it's on. Either it's a stamper situation where it's not ink efficiency, or where it's not ink efficient enough to be able to do stuff with it. Either it's like that, or it's like Carbon, where it cannot do anything because you would have to zip right next to the opponent, which, I mean, they made V Carbon 170. Woohoo, zip buff, let's go. Or it's like Octobrush, where the weapon can't even get the special in the first place. Like, Octobrush is the one weapon in this game, except arguably Stamper with Main Saver, that could actually do something with Zip, given the opportunity. But A, the weapon's damage is too weak right now. If it hits someone from high up in the Zip, it's not killing, which is like the whole point, you know? See, again, like the carbon, you'd have to be straight next to it. But Octopus being at 200p is just stupid. To this day, I don't know why they haven't changed it. But yeah, that's Zip. Zip is just bad right now. Alright, so that's Zip. Let's see, chat. I had a basic idea before going into this. Now I'm really thinking though. Is there another gap, honestly? Like, I don't see any of these specials and think. Okay, wait, no, I see one. Alright, we're gonna C tier now. Not quite a gap. I'd say it's close to being a gap, but not quite a gap. This may be an unpopular opinion, but low-key, Whale's just not it. It's just... So here's the thing about Whale. Like, it is leagues better than Zip, right? You can use your main weapon, you can use bombs, it follows you, it does very consistent damage, which is all stuff that Octobrush cannot do. But Whale is just too short and too weak. Consistent damage does not mean good damage. Consistent damage means if you get hit by the Whale for the same amount of time, you will take the same amount of damage each time, because it's consistent. But it still kills very slowly unless you like targeting all 6 beams on one person, which is not really how Whale's supposed to be used. Or you hit one person with each pair of Whales and accomplish nothing because it's too weak to even do anything. So yeah, that's kind of Whale. And the weapons is on. It actually has fairly good weapons. Like Vanilla Ink Brush is very good with Whale. Synergizes really well. 52 has Whale, Wall and Whale specifically, which makes it really good. Rapid Pro Deco. Like, there's a lot of weapons with Whale that are solid, but Whale's not the carrying part of that kit, you know? Whale is just like, oh, okay. It's not Bubble, right? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, Whale feels like a weaker missiles in every aspect, and design-wise, it may be better than missiles, but it's still global range. Except this time the global range doesn't mean you hit someone no matter how far away they are. It means, oh look, there's a beam going across the sky that sometimes might not even hit people. And also, like, when Whale doesn't lock on, it doesn't just stay in place. It like moves horizontally across the map, which in my opinion is kind of stupid. It should not it should not go across the map. It should like stay where it goes, or stay where it's whatever it's called, where it was locked in initially, even if it's not locked on someone. It's solely displacement. Tracking isn't that good, and damage you guys around 5 to 10%. Exactly. Like I've died to Whale before, but that's because either I was already in a fight when the Whale started, or is like a really good player and they actually capitalized off the Whale. But even then, it's not even the Whale player that's capitalizing off of the Whale. It's like another player that's like actually knows how to play the video game. So yeah. And then Whale is just, it's weak. It's too weak right now. Do I think it should necessarily be buffed? No? Whale's kind of like one of those specials where if it was good, that'd be really bad. Cause, yeah. 7 damage per tick. What is per tick? How long is a tick in Splatoon? I mean, I know you can die in like very little time. A second? Oh, you mean like per hit? You mean tick like per? Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Also, welcome to stream, Boomy. Hope you enjoy it here. I think whale's only use case, and the reason it's above zip is because occasionally, if you're somewhere people aren't expecting, it could help out there, because now they're pressured on top of having to cover a flank. But that does not make whale good, you know. Alright, next special. This is also gonna kind of hurt, but honestly, wait. Let me think here. Let me think for a solid second here. Whether I want to do it. I'm gonna think for a solid second about like whether I want to place a special here or not. Honestly, yeah. Screw it. Strikes. They're kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. You see a strike, you see special paint. I hate to say it, that's just it. I was debating between this and vacuum, by the way. So here's the thing, we're entering a meta with a bunch of like shooters and splatlings, but also the weapons that are good now, like Blob, and especially Blob having Storm. Vacuum can actually cover that, whereas Strike, considering this is a shooter meta, and obviously there's some weapons that aren't shooters that are meta, like Viper's still pretty good. Blob's good, but the thing is, Blob specifically, right? If we're talking non-shooters, Blob specifically is so good at taking space and areas, and you cannot control the area around you when you have strikes. For multiple reasons actually, because first of all, the strikes are too tiny. Second of all, the strikes, they do enough damage, but it's not threatening enough of a size to be scared of that damage, you know. And another thing with strikes, they paint like weird, you know. Obviously it's a visual thing that they paint a swirl, but because of that, like, unless you use all three at the same point, it's never gonna be perfectly painted, because there's always gonna be gaps, so you're gonna slip and get in the enemy ink and reveal yourself, which is a problem. But yeah, strikes, in my opinion, too vulnerable. I will see weapons, pull them out, and they're like actively throwing the strikes, and I can just kill them for free, because they can't do anything. The best they could do is throw a strike at themselves. And yeah, exactly, that's another thing that we'll get to later. It's kind of booyah, but like it lasts way less, which is, it has significantly more of an impact than you'd think, the time they last. But yeah, that's strikes. Strikes is, in my opinion, too vulnerable, and the damage hitbox, even though the damage itself is good, like you die if you get hit by it for like 10 frames, the size of the strikes and their duration is just not long enough or big enough that you would actually be scared by it. Which, segue, speaking of damage that is large enough to be scared by it, what happened? So, seeing Vacuum above 4 other specials is actually just wild to me. I don't know why, but it just is, you know? Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna move those up a tier. There we go. There's a gap. There's officially a gap. Alright. I've been thinking about it. Those give a lot more value than Zip ever will. Anyway, vacuum. So here's the thing about vacuum. None of it got changed except for the size of the shot. But people were initially like, oh, the size of the shot isn't what vac needed. Well, it wasn't what it needed. But yeah, we do need gaps to emphasize just how different the specials are. Also, I wouldn't want to put like, I wouldn't want to have giant gaps at the top, because gaps at the bottom are definitely larger than the ones at the top. So I'm putting it at the bottom. But anyways. Vacuum. So vacuum is interesting because we are entering a shooter meta, kind of, right? Like a half shooter meta. Like every comp is gonna have like 2, maybe 3 shooters, right? And vacuum got hard countered by 2 things. Splatanas and very, very high DPS weapons. Because very high DPS weapons filled it up super fast. Like a charger, for example. Charger doesn't even have DPS. It just has like very high damage shots, which fills up the vacuum fast. And charger specifically, you wait for the vacuum to stop sucking, and you can shoot them before they even get out the shot. And that's still relative issue. But if the vac player has knowledge of the game, especially competitive knowledge of the game, they're gonna have enough time to get that shot out. And if the vacuum is fully charged now, say goodbye to half your team, right? Like, say you pop a vacuum and the entire team fills it up because they're like right next to it when you pop it, so they get it. You shoot it at your feet and half of them die. Because there's just not enough time to react to the shot and be able to swim away in time anymore. Before there was, because it was kind of small. But now, it's actually mad difficult, and you just kind of die sometimes with this special. In both ways. Both people sometimes just die, which is kind of funny. Like if you're going against Splatana or something, they can literally just charge slash you. But yeah, now if you shoot a vacuum enough and fill up its tank, like it just, you die, you're dead. It's a hero kamikaze, right? Which makes it a lot more scary to try to fill up the vacuum, which in turn makes it survive more, meaning it gets its shot more. Which, when the shot is buffed, exactly. So anyway, moving on. I'm gonna say moving on from B tiers, because I think from here on out, let me think for a second, actually. We might not be completely done with B tiers. There might be one more. There might be one more B tier. Also, hang on. Give me like 10 seconds, chat. Alright, never mind. I'm debating. Is usually a special power? Yeah. Special power help Vac a lot. So we actually have one more B tier, and then something that was gonna get brought down. But I don't want to have 5 B tiers, so we'll just put it at very bottom of A. Slider. I forgot the special was in the video game. I forgot the special was in the video game. I'm gonna be honest. Slider's interesting, right? Because it used to suck, right? Like, vacuum sucks, literally. But Slider used to be absolute trash. And now they made it so that you still die a lot, but now even if you die, it's very likely that you'll hit at least one person with the 70 damage hitbox. And 70 damage is a very, very scary number to be at. Which I think adds to the pressure of Slider. It's just right now when Cooler's a thing, like Slider's whole thing is getting kills. If Cooler is meta at the time, and the person has Cooler, you just used up all your special. You killed one person that had Cooler, and they are back in 5 seconds. So that's why Slider is like Slider's very hindered by Cooler. I'll say that. Because if you died and had to wait like a solid 8 seconds to actually like fully respawn, it'd be different. But as is, Cooler just makes it such a quicker process to get back in. And then unless you're like an arrow spray, you're not gonna have another Slider, right? And with 180 zap in the game, they're gonna get another Cooler before you get another Slider, which is a problem. Oh yeah, there's not much to say about Slider. It's a very simple special. There's not like much you can really do with it. I still think maybe they could make you be able to turn it a slight bit to react to, oh my god, he pressed the ZL button and held left on the control stick, so he did not die. But yeah, Slider is, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the future how they buff it. Will a C? That's actually fair. I could just bring Whale down and remove the gap. That's actually completely fair. Alright, cool. Oh. I'm debating here. I'm gonna go here just cause zone's niche, I think. Well, see, Will's good on bamboo, but like, that's just cause it actually combos. The special itself still sucks. Like, it needs to do 15 damage for bamboo to one shot, and that's not a lot for whale standards. But like, that's about as much you're gonna get with whale, is the thing, right? So yeah. I think whale C for sure. Slider's like maybe a little bit lower because I forgot the special existed. But yeah. Alright, moving on to A tiers. So, most controversial one. 100%. In my opinion. The most controversial pick in this list. Kraken. So, Kraken is very weird. Because it is a special that in no way fits with any other special in this game. It's really weird. Like, it's in its whole separate category of specials. Because you cannot die. You can't die. You are physically incapable of dying unless you fall off the map. For a solid 7.5 seconds. Or more if you have special power up. Which makes this a very, very, very scary special. However, I think the reason Kraken is like kinda sorta good right now is because hallway maps, there's nowhere to go if there's a Kraken. Like, picture you're playing mincemeat zones. Where are you gonna go if someone Kraken's in the zone? You would have to climb on your right plat, and then you're backing into snipe, which then the Kraken can just get your snipe. And yes, inexperienced players would die a lot more, but that's the thing, like, if the Kraken knows what it's doing, it can get some stuff done. And considering there's really no downside to the special ending other than end lag, which to be fair can hurt you sometimes, but honestly, if you know what you're doing with the Kraken, you'll be able to use your lag in a safe spot and you won't die. Or you can just get a random quad and then like you can go have your lag wherever you want. But yeah, in my opinion, Kraken's actually A. I think it's very, very solid at getting kills. Shooter meta makes it, I'd say, like, roughly the same. Shooters can paint a bit more over it. However, shooters also are going to therefore be focused on the Kraken. And shooters are by far the most valuable part of a comp right now. I mean, they have been for a long time, but now especially they are. And yeah, it's kind of hard to counter this special. If you know how to counter it, good for you. That's not going to work sometimes because of the maps we have. There's no walls to go on to block the Kraken, you know. So yeah, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Second kind of controversial one. Stamp, right above it. So here's the thing. Here's kind of my little spiel on Stamp. This is a wild list. But in my opinion, Stamp could very well go in C tier by the end of next week. Because Stamp is very, very, very dependent on meta. If it is a no shooter meta, this thing dominates. If it's a lot of shooters, it's still good, I think. And in this situation, shooters are still good, but right now at least, where's my train of thought at? Oh yeah, right now the most valuable weapons are support shooters like Zap and Zap and Zap. So you would play and the Stamp would show up. You have to decide whether you want to risk actually shooting through the Stamp, which I swear is getting less and less consistent for some reason. But that runs the risk of actually dying and losing your support shooter while having a Stamp out on the field to take care of your other teammates. So like, you very much have to kill a Stamp as soon as you can. Because Stamp's not a special where like, if no one, like, you can't ignore it. If you try to ignore Stamp, it's still going to get a lot of value. But it's very difficult to ignore. I'll say that. Stamp's very difficult to ignore. Its sound effect is loud. The outside shockwaves make it really easy to kill with now. Even if you're not really like completely in the right position, which is nice. Its object damage is still, I believe, the best in the game. From anything, I believe. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe Kraken. But I don't know. Its DPS is still the best in the game, from my knowledge. It's still very good at protecting the Rainmaker, even though you can shoot it in this game. It's not as good as in 2, because you couldn't shoot it through in 2, so you could just Stamp with the Rainmaker. But it's still decent at it. Again, object damage is good at popping the shield. And then there's Stamp mode. Sorry, not Stamp mode. Throw mode. So, throw mode is a whole different story, because throw mode is basically a single consistent Zuka shot. You know? Except it goes, I mean, I guess regular Zuka shots go through people too. But the thing is, Stamp's like kind of smaller, but its hitbox is the same. So it can go through more stuff. Also, it's not swirling, so it can go through more stuff. It's spinning instead of swirling. But yeah, that's just kind of Hammer. Hammer's one of the most versatile specials in the game, which is awesome. That's why I love it so much, and I think if you really want to be good with it, you could. Like, I'll say it right now, I am technically gifted. I am mechanically gifted at Stamp. But that's just because, like, you gotta find ways to mix up opponents with the Stamp. You know? I see so many people online just pull out the hammer and then just hold the ZR button for the rest of the special's duration. Yeah, stamp hitbox is absolutely massive. They're not gonna change it back. That's another thing with stamp. They've gone too far with the buffs. The translucent thing they could obviously keep because that's just quality of life. But like increasing the shockwaves, increasing turning again, I feel was necessary because you already couldn't keep up with people before. It's still kind of a struggle now, so I can't imagine without it. I played some Splatoon 2 the other day, and it was so bad. The whole point of the outer hitbox of stamp is that it's shockwaves that the stamp makes. That's why it deals damage. That's the whole idea behind it. People are still underrating the vertical swing to this day. They do not realize it hits like way over ledge. Or not ledge, that's in the Smash Bros. Ledges. They don't realize that, which is kind of crazy. But they just kind of like ignore the fact that jumping stamp shot is a thing, you know. Oh yeah, that's hammer. Kinda consistent. Not too consistent because shooter meta, but the shooter that would have to shoot it is gonna be a support shooter since there's not many aggro shooters in this meta. That kind of goes to other weapons. The main shooters in this meta are supports. But yeah, they have to decide between dying or trying their best to shoot through, which may not work. The throw hitbox is absolutely massive. It deals 220. Very good object damage if you just kind of like immediately throw it off. It'll do very good damage. Very sizable damage hitbox. Outer damage hitbox, I should say, on the stamp throw. So yeah. Oh, but yeah, in my opinion, this is the most fluctuating ranking just because it depends entirely on which weapons are good. Because it could get hard countered or it could hard counter the weapons. Alright, next up. Why did the music stop? Yes, continue watching. Alright. Next up. I'm gonna say... Alright, so from here on out, it's actually not that difficult, I think. I think it's not that difficult. Next up is Chump. Wow, this buff did a lot. This buff actually did a very good job at making the special actually threatening. In my opinion, I think it's in a perfect spot. They don't need to do anything else with it. I don't think. If they did, that'd be kind of unhealthy because this would become the new missiles. Even though you can't spam it, it'd still just be like you send death balloons onto the field, right? I mean, you can make them tank a bit more, but after that, that is literally all they would need. Do not overbuff Chumps, please. New Fortnite. This is Splatoon specials. Hope it says it in the title and not Fortnite special tier list. That would be bad. Anyway, yeah, Chump. The reason Chump works so well, in my opinion, is kind of the stamp case in the way of it's so versatile. You can obviously use it in the normal way of just pressing ZR and launching them onto the field. But once that happens, you could do anything. Option A, you do what the special was actually intended for and jump to a teammate as you jump with the Chumps. And kind of... Chumps at the same time, Kraken is pretty crazy. Yeah. It's, they changed a lot. Well, yeah, the thing with Chumps is, like, you could do the intended option, which is to jump to a teammate with the Chumps, and if you have no quick super jump, you actually jump at the exact same speed as the Chumps, so it's kind of useful. If you see my Twitter clip, you would know that. Number 2, you could use them for protection, as, like, you can use them as protection for your team. Helps a lot against stuff like blasters, which now that S-Blast is a thing in the video game, that does actually help. Also, shooters, it's a shooter meta. Chumps will still be hard countered, or not hard countered. Chumps will actually still hard counter shooters, because the shooters would have to shoot through the Chumps, and in that time, you could have just killed the shooter, right? Especially, once again, most shooters in this update are support shooters. So yeah, Chump is very versatile, and I think now, after they buffed the damage, which is the one thing it couldn't do before, it's actually very good now. Alright, next up. So now we're getting into like the stupidly good specials, right? We're getting into S now. A tier is done. Honestly, is there... nah, there's no gap. There's a gap, but that gap is a special, not just a gap. Oh wait, I missed one. Zuka. Zuka. This... I could debate this between S and A all day long. Because on one hand, it's A tier because it's still inconsistent with its one-shot hitbox. And the swirling thing makes it hit walls sometimes that it shouldn't. Oh, sorry. Sorry, chat, I had to yawn. Anyway, the one-shot hitbox is still inconsistent. However, most importantly, and what's thinking of making me push this up to S. In fact, I might. Yes, I will. Alright, Zuka S. It's very good panic button. Unironically, Zuka is actually kind of a decent panic button now. Because you can go for one-shots, and if the hitbox doesn't work, like a Zuka moment, but you still hit them, now you don't have to waste all 3 shots, you could just use 2 shots to get them off of you, like as a get off me tool. And then you could, use your 3rd shot for something else, or if you've already used 1 shot, you can still use it as a get off me tool. So it's helpful. It's helpful. Zuka's another thing you have to be very mechanically gifted with, but also with Zuka, it's luck based. However, Zuka's essentially 3 Ultra Stamp throws in one, which Stamp Throw is arguably the best part of the special, so getting 3 of them is very good, you know. Only thing is, the weapons it's on are actually good. Splatter Shot's very good, just got buffed in 2 areas, so yeah. Then Carbon Deco is a very popular weapon, very popular skirmisher. Let me think about a squeezer weapon. Or not squeezer weapon, Zuka weapon. Squeezer! Hey, look at that. While Zuka's interesting kit for Squeezer, I think it should definitely get a different kit just to encourage different playstyles, but I think right now, people are heavily underrating its current kit. So that's pretty good. Then, what other things have... Oh yeah, Tent. Tent Sorella has Zuka. That's kind of scary, because now you can use a slightly more consistent Zuka from behind the shield. Which is actually very scary. But yeah, overall Zuka, very good if it was way more consistent, like actually able to get one-shots, or they just made the hitbox a static thing, and the swirling a visual thing. I could see it here, for sure. Next up, we have... Wait, is this showing? No, it's not. Alright. Next up, we have Wave Breaker. I'll talk about it in a second. Bro, I swear my allergies are actually so bad today. Anyways, Wave. Wave is very good. It has always been good. It has never been bad. However, the thing pushing it for me this patch is Chump. Because if Chump becomes meta, that means Paintbrush becomes meta. And Paintbrush becomes meta because it has Wave. So the thing about Wave, it one-shots Chumps. So if you put a Wave in an area with Chumps, that special's obliterated, right? And the Wave doesn't even take damage for the Chumps, because the Wave comes out faster than Chumps explode. But yeah, Wave has always been a very consistently healthy and good special. It's never been bad. It's never been broken. We've never been on a Wave Breaker meta. It's just a good special. It's well designed, so that you don't really need to change it that much. So I think it's cool. The weapons design are pretty useful. Having a leader is nice, but I think running a heavy would honestly be better at this point in time, because then it gets more wave output. You have a sprinkler to help with output as well, which recently got buffed. And yeah, wave synergy with heavy is much better than wave synergy with leader, because the synergy you get from leader is just, you know where the person is, but with heavy it actually reduces the shot it takes to kill. which is nice. But yeah, very solid weapon. And Paintbrush, as we said, that recently got his 25% ink efficiency buff. That thing's kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Paintbrush is kind of insane now. So we'll see. We'll see how the special goes. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they made Paintbrush either 210 or like reduced its damage a bit. I hope they don't, because I think it's in a good spot right now. But they might. Alright, so, last thing in S tier, I'm gonna put Cooler right here. So, thing with Cooler is the reason it's so meta right now was because of Inkjet. Because Inkjet was so broken that you wouldn't even bother fighting it. You would just have to, like, cave. And your best bet was to have Cooler so you could respawn faster from the Inkjet shot. Now that Inkjet's been toned down slightly, Cooler will be toned down the same amount. But I still think from all the buffs they've given it, and especially considering Zap is in the game, which for some reason recently got buffed. Yeah, Cooler's gonna be in a good spot for a long time. I guarantee it won't be bad anymore, like it was in like the early days of S3, you know? It'll still be good. But yeah. Cooler's just fun, man. Cooler and Chump and let's see what Wave are like just really genuinely fun specials, and I'm glad they're like actually kind of good in the meta right now, because it makes it a lot more fun. I'll say that. Alright, moving on to S+. We have the top 5 specials in the game. So here's the thing. I am an avid believer of the special. Many people know it's good. I still think it's better than S, just purely because of the amount of displacement it can get you. The special I'm referring to is going to be Inkstorm. I think Inkstorm's an S+ tier special. I'm not gonna lie. This thing is insane at kind of just everything it does, you know? It is, what, 8 seconds? 8.5 if you have a special power up, or a certain amount of special power up. I don't know. It goes up a bit. Storm is so good at just everything. It can displace people, but it's light displacement. You can't spam it, so it's still healthy for the game. However, most importantly, Storm is long-lasting in a certain area. In a certain area, it holds it for a long time. Which, considering the amount of choke points in maps right now, like, for example, Undertow, you could put a Storm in that little side route, right? I shouldn't call it a side route. That's disrespectful to all side routes. Put it in that left side of mid, or the right side, actually, doesn't matter. You just cover that entire area for a solid 8 seconds. Which is actually kind of broken. It's funny. It just kind of sucks for the other team, because they also take damage. It's not just like, oh, you can't go there. They take damage if they do, which makes this if you really need to go in through the Storm, you can, which again is healthy. However, you're going to be damaged and marked, therefore. On the map, obviously, because all damage is marked on the map. And 2, because the little bubbles that come out of your Inkling when you're in swim form, when you're damaged, that's going to show. So, yeah. If you're damaged from Storm, it's going to show. And also put more pressure on you in fights. Someone, for example, like a Knot or a Blob, can just put up a Storm, and immediately that fight has turned tables. Unless the Knot or the Blob is already winning, you know. And last thing about Storm is that it actually does offer paint. It's not like, oh my god, it paints so well. But you have to keep it in mind that the area the Storm is in is gonna be painted the other team's color once it's done. You know? So that's kind of the thing about Storm. I'll be right back before I explain the 4th best special. Still remember the test fire the first time we got to use cooler and you died with it. Stop. It'd be pretty funny if it kept on my special. And it did. Bro, that we didn't even know about the special saver. That's crazy. But yeah. 4th best special in the game. Now. The 3 best specials, I think, are just like in stone. They're set in stone right now. The 4th best special is significantly less busted. I think the top 3 specials still need some kind of form of nerf to make them a bit closer to the other specials in this game. However, I will say this, however, the 4th best special to like A tier probably would be fine if they never got changed throughout the entire course of the game. Except maybe Stamp, because just make it more consistent. Because this fluctuates. It could be here next patch, it could be here. It could be here next patch if we're not in shooters. Or they buff it. So yeah. Anyway. 4th best special in the game is going to be Booyah Bomb. So Booyah is kind of that special that's just always been good. It has never even been remotely close to bad. It's never been remotely close to the absolute undisputed best special in the game, you know? It's always just there in high tier, right? It's always there in high tier. Which I find kind of funny, because this special is just kind of well designed. Your 2nd place, you have armor, but the armor can be shredded, especially now that Splatooners are in the game. It can be very easily shredded if you have the right tools. However, the Booyah Bomb itself is still very good at displacing. The thing about Booyah that also makes it really good is because Tower, GG Booyahs are just a thing in this game. Which is, you could say it's unhealthy, but also you could just shred the Booyah in some cases. And I feel like people don't do that enough. They don't bother to shred the Booyah. They're just like, oh, well, I'm not gonna have enough time, so I just won't try to shred it when there's Splatoon the Stamper, you know. But it still has its weaknesses. However, the Booyah Bomb itself is so powerful. It is consistent displacement, it does consistent damage, it's very good against stuff like the Rainmaker Shield if you're trying to help with the push to get pop because of its consistent damage. And I had one more. Oh yeah, and it also paints really well too. Like, if everyone's just being passive, you can just Booyah the zone and it just caps. Which, sure, we have other zone capping tools now with Slider after its buff and Vacuum and its new buff that can cover the mincemeat zone in one shot without even a chance for the other team to flip the zone. It's kind of funny. But yeah, Booyah's just good. It's just well designed, and yeah. I would be mad if it got took out of the game. I wouldn't be mad if maybe they made it like a tiny bit healthier, maybe reduce the HP a tiny bit, but other than that, that's it. Alright, so we have reached the top 3 specials in the game. I think they're all in X tier. I don't think any one of these specials is in S+. So honestly, at this point, let me rename X to top 3. Now, in my opinion, third best special is Crab. I think the other 2 are so much more valuable than Crab is, because people still hold Crab to a very high value, but especially in a cooler meta, it's kind of an interesting situation where dying actually just counters the Crab. It's kind of funny. You just gotta respect it, but like, cooler kind of mitigates some of its effects. Also, the nerfs they've been doing have been really good to it to make it feel very not exactly broken anymore. And at this point in the game, there are a lot of options to counter it, especially now that Paintbrush is in like a viable weapon, and that chumps are good in the meta, and that Vacuum functions now, so it can just suck up like half your special and shoot it back at you, and you lose your special, right? Which, for a Vacuum, that's a pretty good trait to get rid of a Crab. But yeah, Crab, it's obviously still very powerful. It has very high damage, high velocity, High paint if there's enough of them. Shots. Its Explo mode is still absolutely busted. I don't know why. It's literally just a giant Explo shot, but it is. It still has that very threatening one-shot combo. And yeah, Crab's all around pretty good. It's a bit vulnerable now, considering there are fewer spots you can use it to full effect. And those spots are campable by Splatanas and paintbrushes and wave breakers, therefore, because of the paintbrush. And it's still susceptible to storm because you're on the top of the Crab. So yeah, Crab has a lot of counters, but I think its power more than makes up for its weaknesses. Hello Kyle, welcome in, welcome in. We're rating the top 2 now. Oh, good segue by the way. Second best special in the game. I think the nerf actually hit it. I'm not gonna lie. I think the nerf legitimately hit it. I think the nerf actually knocked Inkjet back one. Before it was absolutely undisputed best special in the game. Now it's like still good, but you can very much more comfortably counter it, which therefore makes it worse. Nerf did nothing. Okay, well that just means you're good at Inkjet though, which is obviously it's still a top 2 special. It's the second best special in the game, so of course it's very good. But there's a lot more scenarios than you realize where getting a 30 instead of a 50 is actually detrimental to the Inkjet user. And it's gonna make parrying it a lot easier because you don't have to worry about the fact that you die in 2 hits no matter what anymore. Like sometimes if they miss a bit, it can actually be 3. But yeah. That's Inkjet. Obviously, it's still very good. You get, what, is it 8 or 9? Giant, 120 damage. Is it 120? I think it's 120, yeah. 120 damage directs. The Inkjet exhaust is still very good. They didn't nerf that at all, which is nice. Because that's what it needed the most. If they nerfed the jump, it'd still be... If they nerfed the jump and not the blast radius, it'd probably be, like, still very good. But obviously a lot more punishable. But yeah. Now, best special in the game. It's not by that much anymore. It's not by that much. It's still the best special in the game. But I think maybe if it gets a tiny little like nerf, it could probably go to S+. Cause the thing is, missiles are like really interesting. Cause like missiles are the one special in this game, right? Zip, you can just shoot it. Slider, you can cancel it. Vacuum, you can cancel it. Stamp, you can cancel it. Cracking, you just wait for it to be over. Wave, you can break it. Zuka, you can kill the user easily because of their lag. Booyah, you can shred their armor. Missiles is just you pop the missiles, they're invincible, you can't shoot them, and you die. I think if you were able to shoot the missiles out of the sky maybe, that would be pretty cool. And also make the special a lot more interactive, and also make the special a lot worse viability wise, which is good. So I don't think there's anything really there's nothing like that's ever been absolutely truly busted about missiles ever since they gave it that little 10-second cooldown nerf. The global range is obviously still ludicrous. That should not be a thing. But it has that, Whale has that too, you gotta accept it, and I think overall, missiles being the least healthy special in this game is a pretty good sign. However, that does not change the fact that it is undisputedly the best special in this game because it is free displacement, free pressure, free paint. Even if it doesn't paint as much as some of the specials would, it still paints a decent amount. And I think the biggest thing is just the fact that it takes the missiles like a solid 4 seconds to actually start landing. So you're just like, you're still displaced for the time that the missiles aren't even down yet because you're scared of them coming down. That is the thing, right? You're scared of when they're gonna come down because there's no real indication other than that little dot that appears. And even then, if you try to react based on the dot and not like hearing the missiles start to fly, you're gonna die. So it's difficult like that. Also, the fact that the cooldown is 10 seconds, it helps. But Wiper Deco's still 190, which is kind of the one missiles weapon people are using now. I still don't know what they're gonna do with the special, because if they buff GooTuber, which honestly needs to be buffed again, the quality of life change was nice, but other than that, it actually just got nothing. But if they buff it too much, then we now have a charger with missiles. So let's not get into that meta, you know. But yeah, I think that's the tier list. Bubble, get out of here. Zip, overall, not consistent whatsoever. Needs more duration. Heck, at this point, even probably armor. Just generally does not do that much. Easily killable. Easily killable. Way better than it's ever been in this video game. But it's mainly just because you can kamikaze now. Always been solid, but I don't know if there's a meta where we're really gonna see it like here, you know? It's just gonna always be solid. Very much fluctuates based on the time. Right now I say it's here. Next week it could be here. Week after that it could be here. Week after that it could be here. You never know. Very solid buffs. I'm glad with what they did to it, so that's awesome. Still a bit too inconsistent to be up here, but it's still very solid, especially after the buff. Always been a solid special. Always been around here. I don't think that's gonna change. Very, very common because of these specials. So once those maybe potentially get nerfed, might fall off, but right now it's here. Consistent, easy painting displacement. What else can you say? Actually, same as this. Actually, it's just this lasts longer. This you're safer. And then these three, gets a quad, helps you get a quad. But it makes getting the quad free, and then you're already pushed up in their base instead of having a recall. Or having to stay backline so you don't get shredded, you know? But yeah. Alright, let me chat here. Missiles badly designed. I don't think it's too late to rework them. It's definitely not, but they could. Shoot a lot of torpedoes that you can shoot down. I think it'd honestly be cooler. Hear me out. I think it'd be really cool if they made missiles so that the person shoots the missiles. However, you can shoot the missiles back at the other player, and it'll act as a sort of rally until the missiles hit someone. They won't necessarily kill you. It'll still track you like regular missiles, which is pretty poorly, to be fair. So you can just move out of the way. But if you could shoot them kind of like a rally, I think that'd be really cool. And it'd bring a lot more interactivity to the special too. But yeah, that's my list. That's my list, everyone. Let me post it real quick so I can get some very controversial takes. Let's see here. Let me screenshot this real quick. There we go. I will post it, and we're gonna get a lot of angry replies. Oh wait, this is showing my Twitter. That's awesome. Let's go. Oh no, Splatoon! So I'm gonna cross maps and 4 missiles your way every 3 seconds. Yeah. Accurate time Ganon fight in Splatoon. That's crazy. Hey, that'd actually be fun though. That'd actually be very fun. But yeah, I'm gonna post it. Thank you everyone for joining stream. This was very fun. It's a lot better having an actual chat here, so I could discuss it with you guys rather than just doing this on my own. Honestly, it was a very fun stream to do. Maybe in the future I could do more tier list streams. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Boomy, Burger, Jay, Kyle, and Drakor, Doug Trail, and Smash Bros fan. Thank you very much for watching, and Got Milk, of course. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Next stream will be probably just the Kingdom 1, so stay tuned for that. Yeah. Will they buff Rellas? I don't know, man. I honestly don't know when they're gonna rebuff Rellas. That they haven't done anything for literally a year. I don't know. Rebuff? Yeah, because they nerfed them in the past. They weren't just bad to begin with. They were good to begin with, and then they nerfed them, and they haven't brought them back. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream, Boomy. Haven't seen you around anywhere, so hope you enjoyed. Let's get to 5 likes, people. Let's get to 5 stream likes. That'd be crazy. Nurse were in S2? Yes, they were. They haven't changed Bella's once in 3 outside of bug fixes. Oh, 4 likes. We're so close. We're so close. Hold up. Hey, let's go. We got it. We got it. Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for... Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the likes. Yeah. Thanks for joining. Oh, they got 6 likes. Bet. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for joining. I will see you guys in the next stream or video. We'll see. I'm working on one. It might post soon. So, see ya. 7 now. Let's go. Yeah. See you guys.